Alright, Bismillah, Alhamdulillah, Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah, wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man walahu wa ba'd. We restart with chapter 10 today of Al-Sunnah. In this chapter, we've been talking about what idea, what's the heading of this chapter, guys? What does that mean, Arif?
I think it's the king and the mother of the king.
No, not Amama. What is Amama?
Amama?
Yeah, what is Amama?
Well, you know.
Amama?
That's not Imama.
That is not Imama, you're right.
That's Amama.
I don't know Amama.
It's not leadership, yeah?
No, we spoke about it yesterday, guys. That's Amama.
Oh.
Something.
Okay, so these are words that are considered to be what we call. Let me just pin this to the side so that we can have notes running side by side. So yesterday we spoke about the word amama. What we said about it is that it's a specific type of noun. Okay? It's an important thing to recognize. But different to regular nouns that we're used to seeing, the word amama is unique because of the fact that, number one, it usually appears in the nasab state. Okay? So when we see it in the nasab state, we're used to seeing nouns in the nasab state. Why? They're objects, right? They're maf'ul bihis. But what's different about the word amama is that it remains in the nasab state because it's a new type of noun that usually appears as what we call the maf'ul fi.
Oh.
The maf'ul fi. Does anyone recall what is a maf'ul fi? What is a maf'ul fi?
The time in which an action is being done?
Yes, the time or the place. The time or place of an action is called a maf'ul fihi. The time or place. Now, just so that you remember that there are multiple maf'uls. The normal maf'ul that we first started our class off was called a maf'ul bihi. Right? Madik, you remember what is a maf'ul bihi? No, what's a maf'ul bihi? What's a normal maf'ul?
I mean, well, the describe it's giving the description.
No, it has nothing to do with description.
Okay.
A normal maf'ul bihi is the object of the sentence. Now, do you remember what an object does? Like, what is an object?
It's using another thing.
Yes, an object's in the nasab state, okay? So when I say object,
So it is stop.
it has nothing to do with description. The object is called maf'ul bihi. It is what the action is happening to. I.e., Yusuf did Zayd. In this sentence, our maf'ul bihi would be which word? Are you guys even able to read this?
It's small.
Yeah.
Nope, not big enough. How's that?
That's good.
Is that readable?
Yeah.
That's better.
There's got to be a way to actually just up this text, man.
Yeah.
Actually, I got you.
I know. Yeah. I think last time.
Yeah, just killed the resolution. How did I do that? Let's just do that. Okay? So, remember, when we looked at maf'uls last time, we said that a maf'ul bihi represents the object of a sentence. The object of a sentence. Where the maf'ul bihi is always in the nasab state. Before we continue onwards with that, Let's go ahead and make a sentence that actually shows us that so that we don't forget. Can someone give me a sentence in which we have an object? Khalidun. My bad. Khalidun. What? Daraba. Ali. Okay. Now, how do I show this in the nasab state? What would it have on its ending?
The nasab will be on top of Ali.
So how do I show the nasab state? Like that. Ali. Now, what state would Khalid be in?
It'll be the dual and someone will be saying Daraba.
Does that look right? Daraba Ali. Ali here is, what do we call this word in our grammatical sense? The maf'ul bihi. Okay? Acclimatize yourself to that word, because I'm not going to say object any longer. I'm going to say the maf'ul bihi. So the maf'ul bihi is whatever that action is happening to. Arif drank water. What's the maf'ul bihi?
Arif.
Oh yeah, you're getting drunk, right?
Not to that extent.
No. Arif drank water. What's the action happening to Arif?
Oh, I'm drinking water.
So it's happening to you?
Yeah.
No, nothing's happening to you. It's happening to the water.
Oh.
What's the action here?
The drinking.
The drinking. Who's it happening to?
To the water?
Yes. It's not happening. You're not getting drunk.
I mean,
The water is getting drunk, right? The water is drunk, not you.
So is it like passive verb then?
It's not a passive verb. Arif is drinking water. Drinking is not a passive verb. It's an active verb. It's an active verb because I know who's doing it. Who's doing it?
Me.
Yes. And what are you doing it to?
To the water.
So the object of the sentence is the water. The maf'ul bihi is the water. Okay. Now we call that a maf'ul bihi. We were talking about a new concept which is called a maf'ul fihi. Okay? What's different between a maf'ul bihi and a maf'ul fihi? The difference is that the maf'ul fihi is the noun that shows location or place of the action. Maf'ul fi. What else am I saying? Okay, so let's go ahead and try to figure out some examples. An example is, I can say to you, wajada. Anyone know what that means? Wajh is face. Wajhun is face. This is wajada. He found. Good. So let's take an example. Wajada Ali yun. Wajada Ali yun. What does Ali find? Kitaban. Amama.
So Amama means in front.
In front of.
It means like
Amama. Ad-dulabi. Ad-dulabi.
Alright, which one?
Ali, I need your help. What's a dulab?
Dulab?
Dulab. Ever heard that before?
Dulab.
Dulab. Oh wow, subhanAllah. I thought you guys used this word.
I know what Jallab is.
No? Dulab. Where's the other translation? Dulab.
Wheel, tire, wearing wheel. Oh.
We say Ajad.
Cabinet.
Okay.
Cupboard. It's like the closet. In the closet, the pantry. Okay? So, وَجَدَ عَلِيٌّ كِتَابًا أَمَامَ الدُّولَابِ. Now look at that sentence. In this sentence, we have a fa'il or a doer. Where's our doer? Aliyun. It's in the rafa. We have a maf'ul bihi, something the action is happening to. What's the action happening to? Kitaban. Good. That's why kitaban is in what state? It's a maf'ul bihi. Good. It's in the nasab state. And then we have amama. Amama means in front of. Amama is a noun that tells you what? The time or place. And isn't this telling me the time or place?
Yes.
It's telling me in front of. So therefore, by default, it's always in the nasab state. Make sense? Similarly, I can say, what was your question?
Dulabi is in the jar state.
Yes. Now, dulab is always, if you look at dulab in this sentence, not always, sorry. Dulab in this sentence follows a word like amama. And a word like amama usually will occur as a mudaf. So, that's another important thing. Maf'ul fihi words usually act. And you see how I put an act inside parentheses?
Yes.
Okay, quotation marks in it. Are these parentheses or quotation marks?
Quotation.
What are parentheses?
But yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I put them in quotation marks because when we look at maf'ul fihi words, they don't give the meaning of a mudaf. Okay? Because when you think of mudaf, you think what? Mudaf usually is the possessed, right?
Yeah.
Okay? Amama, in this example, does not actually have the meaning of possessed. It just means in front of. In front of. There's nothing really being owned. Okay? So, it doesn't give the meaning of mudaf. However, it has the same effect as a mudaf. What is the effect of a mudaf? The next word will be a mudaf ilayh, which is in the jar state. Hence, which word is in the jar state here? Ad-dulab. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, let's go ahead and look at a couple more examples of maf'ul fihi before we close this chapter. Try looking at the words. Khalfa. Khalfa is the opposite of amama, which means it means what? Behind. Look at the word fawqa. What does fawqa mean? Above. Look at the word tahta.
Under.
Tahta means under. Look at the word.
Biyamin.
No, that's B. See, that's a harf jar. So we would say biyamini.
Biyamin.
You get it? So it's a little bit different because there's a harf jar there. We have words like,
You know what it be? Biyasari?
yeah, an yasarihi.
An yasarihi.
Yeah. Let's look at examples from verb fi. Ya Allah.
Go to the images now.
Alright, so we have words like al-yawma.
Yo.
What does al-yawma mean?
The day.
No, it doesn't. Al-yawma, when it's in the nasab state, means today.
Oh yeah. اليوم رايح على
Yeah, so al-yawma means today. And then let's go ahead and look at the word masa'an. Masa'an.
What about Jem? Jamba. Jambi. Next to.
Yeah, you would say bijambi or ala janibi or bijambi, you could say that. We have masa'an, which means
Tomorrow?
no.
That's other.
That's ghadan.
You said Masa'a.
Masa'an, it means tonight, evening.
Oh.
At evening.
Say Bilil.
And then we have sabahan. What does sabahan mean?
Morning.
In the morning. And then we have words like Jumu'atan.
On Friday.
Yeah, it would mean on Friday. On Friday. All examples of maf'ul fi. We have words like
Would the days of the week be it?
yeah, you could say Yawm al-Khamisi. Yeah, you could say those as well. In all of these examples, what is similar between Amama, Khalfa, Fawqa, Tahta, Al-Yawma, Masa'an, Sabahan, Jumu'atan? What's similar between them? They're all in the? And why is that?
Because of the
I know that's why, that shows they're in the nasab state. But why is it that we put them in the nasab state? Because they are? And maf'ul fihi is a noun that denotes a time or place. Make sense? Okay. Now, in the case of our actual lesson, we had Amama. What was after Amama? Al-Maliki. Amama al-Maliki. In front of the king. In front of the king. And then we read Kana fil Madinati. Can you guys read the first line for me? Malikun kabirun jiddan wa zalimun jiddan. Okay. Now, before we do any translation, what I asked you guys yesterday to remember is anytime you see the word Gana, don't jump to translate. What do we do first? First, identify the ism of Gana. Okay. How do we identify the ism of Gana? It is in the Rafa'at state. Okay. Start with the ism. Then translate Gana. Then translate the khabar. That's the order we want to go in. So in our example here, when we look at Kana fil Madinati Malikun Kabirun Jiddan wa Zalimun Jiddan, where do we start translating?
Start off with the ism.
Which would be what?
It would be Malikun Kabirun Jiddan wa Zalimun.
Yes, very good. Malikun Kabirun Jiddan wa Zalimun Jiddan. Which would mean what?
The very
Not the.
A great king.
A very great king and.
It's not an old. Right? No.
Zalim is not old. What's
Zalim is like a dictator, right?
Yeah.
Oppressor.
Oppressive.
Oppressive.
Okay, so a very
Oppressive.
great and oppressive king. Then what do we translate next?
China
So we're gonna say
was
was in the city. That's the order we want to go. I know there are more ways to say this in English. It's not beyond me. Okay, I know you can say there was in the city I know you can do that. But did we start saying there was in the city? No, we said a great oppressive king was in the city.
Basically, you're flipping it. Right?
Yes, right now for standardization.
Because the canon.
That has nothing to do with it. It's just because I want to get you used to looking for the ism of Gana.
I see.
So I want to get you looking for the ism, so you got to start translating from the ism.
Yeah.
What's the wisdom in that? Just don't worry about it. Okay?
So first the ism, then the khabar, and then the kana.
No, ism, then the
Kana.
Gana, and then the
khabar.
khabar. Good.
It's like the example from last class with the cows. Like if you didn't find the
Yes, very good. So you remember, if you didn't find the ism of Gana,
then you're gonna translate it wrong.
you're going to translate it all wrong.
Yeah.
Good. So in our second sentence, wakana, go ahead and read that, guys. I see kana, what do I do? Start with what? Guys, tell me, what is it? Yes, what is it?
Oh, it's yeah,
An-nasu. So let's translate it.
the people.
The people were or used to, what did they used to do? Prostrate to the king. Okay? The people used to prostrate to the king.
So it's the people, then it's kana,
Yes.
then it's thou.
Yes, very good. All right, let's go ahead and read our third line.
Not
yasjudullah, guys. Be careful. Yasjudu lillahi. Remember, what was the trick I gave you yesterday, Shamrays? No. I said if you see the word Allah without an alif, it's not Allah. It's lillah. Okay? If you see the word Allah written without an alif before it, that means the first lam of Allah actually has a kasra. And guess what is very beautiful about this book? They're starting to reduce the harakat. You see that? They didn't put the harakah on the first lam. You got to figure this stuff out until it is that I give you the copy that has none. Okay? Which we'll be doing, inshallah, next week. Okay? Next week, you're going to have lessons 1 to 10 written out with no harakat, and you'll have to fill them in. Okay? So, وَكَانَ النَّاسُ وَسَمِعَ الْمَلِكُ أَنَّ إِبْرَاهِيمَ يَسْجُدُ لِلَّهِ. Alright, how do we translate this? Go ahead.
And the king heard
The king heard that
Ibrahim prostrates
to
Allah
Allah
and not prostrates to himself.
and not prostrates and not prostrates
Doesn't prostrate
and does not prostrate
to himself.
لأحد.
To anyone.
Yes, and to anyone. Ahad means one.
Yeah.
Alright? But it means anyone when you don't do it to anyone. Let me explain that in a more simple way. Imagine if I say ahadun, Allahu ahadun, qul huwa Allahu ahadun. Allah is one. But if I say la ahad, I'm saying no one at all. So when you take the word one and you make it negative, it means no one. Okay, so he doesn't prostrate to
Anyone.
yeah, but we can't say no one, because then in English you would have a double negative, right? You'd say he don't prostrate to nobody.
I mean, if we talk, it depends on what kind
Depends
of
who you're
in the street.
Yes. So we can literally you can't say he doesn't prostrate to no one, because that means he prostrates to someone.
Yeah.
So we are going to translate this as he doesn't prostrate to anyone, meaning any human, right? Anyone else. All right. What happens? Let's read our next line.
فغضب الملك وغضب إبراهيم.
غضب. We looked that up yesterday. Anyone remember what it means?
Yeah,
غضب.
غضبت عليه. يعني you like غضب. I know what this is, man.
Yeah.
My mom says غضبت عليه. You like
Why did you do that?
it's like you upset me. You like
Exactly.
burden me.
It doesn't mean that in Fusha. Your mom is using a more advanced verb you don't understand.
غضبت عليه.
Now, غضب, look it up in the dictionary. I've looked it up here. What does it mean?
To become angry.
To become angry. Okay, so غضب الملك means
The king got angry.
The king got angry.
the king became angry. Well, talaba, we looked up talaba yesterday as well. Were you here somewhere? Okay, makes sense. Madik, what happened?
I ain't write this one down.
طلب is to order.
Close.
طلبت المcDonald's.
Yeah, so talaba can mean to order.
Okay.
Talaba, let's look it up. Do we know any other words with those root letters, guys?
طالب.
Talib. What's a talib?
A student.
Okay. Any other words? Ya matlab.
Yeah, matlab.
Matlab. So if you're Urdu, if you speak Urdu, you know a few more words
Yeah.
related to this. Talaba in the Arabic language, let's look up our verb. Talaba.
To search.
It's to search, to look, to summon, or to order.
So he summoned
Request.
Yeah, to request, right? To order. That's why you say talab to McDonald's. To order, right?
Order. Okay.
To demand. It can mean all those things. It can also mean to study.
Yeah. That's
Why? Because the student what?
Yeah,
Why does
he's a one that studies.
no, but why does it have that meaning as well? Because the student is in actuality
Seeking knowledge.
seeking, right? He's chasing something. He's not ordering for knowledge to come to him. No, he's going out of his way to find it. Right? He's looking for it. So, غضب الملك means the king became angry. وطلب إبراهيم means and he searched for Ibrahim. Or you can say he demanded Ibrahim
He
to
summoned,
come.
but his summon work as well.
Yeah, I mean, he basically sought him out. We'll say he sought him out right now. Okay? Alright. He sought out Ibrahim alayhi salam. Let's go ahead and read our next line.
وجاء إبراهيم وكان إبراهيم لا يخاف أحدا إلا الله.
Okay. وجاء إبراهيم.
Ibrahim came.
Illa is not a harja. Illa is a very complicated word.
Okay.
The word after illa sometimes is in the rafa' state, sometimes is in the nasab state, sometimes is in the jar state. There are 4 scenarios to figure out which one it will be, and it's a complicated affair, which I'm not teaching you right now.
So
We're just gonna say illallah for
okay,
now.
cool.
Okay. Okay. قال الملك.
قال
Go ahead and read that. من ربك يا إبراهيم.
The king said,
Who is your
Lord,
Ibrahim?
Yes, the king said, who is your Lord Ibrahim? قال إبراهيم Rabbi Allah. Rabbiya. Now we see a fatha on the ya. Normally this ya does not have a fatha. Normally we say what? Rabbi. But when connecting this ya to a word after it, it ends up taking a fatha. Okay, so we're going to say Rabbi Allah. Not Rabbi, Rabbillah. We're going to say Rabbi Allah. Okay? So, Ibrahim alayhi salam says what?
My Lord is Allah.
My Lord is Allah. Good. Let's go ahead and read the next line.
قال الملك من الله يا إبراهيم.
Ibrahim. Ibrahim. Not Ibrahim. Ya Ibrahim. So what does the king say?
the king said,
Why does this say mani? How do we say who in Arabic normally?
Man.
Min is from. How do we say who?
Man.
Man. Man. But what does this say?
Manil.
No.
Manil.
Yeah, so why does it have a kasra on the noon?
So because the sukoon is going to be there because you have to connect it to.
We have to connect to the word Allah, right? So we end up giving the last letter a kasra in order to assist in pronouncing the word Allah afterwards. Why is that happening? This is happening because if you look at the word Allah, normally we say the word Allah. What's the first letter in Allah? Okay, good. It's an alif, but in reality, the word Allah begins with a hamzatul wasal. Now, what's the rule of hamzatul wasal?
Drop it.
If there's any letter before it,
Drop
it must be skipped.
It's a silent one, right?
It's a silent one, and if there's anything before it.
Is that the one in the Quran where it's like
A circle on it?
or
No.
no, there's one,
It's a little sawed on top of it.
Yeah.
What about the ones that are like Like if you have the colored ones, they're like not highlighted.
It's
they're,
gray.
They're gray.
Yeah.
Is that like,
I don't know the color
I think
coding
so.
of your Mus'haf, so I can't say.
I think so.
But if you look in the Medina Mus'haf that you're referring to, every Hamzatul Wasl has a little bit of
Squiggly side.
a little Sa'd on top. The Sa'd stands for Wasl.
Oh.
In Wasl you have a Sa'd,
Yeah.
right? So it stands for Wasl.
Cool.
Yeah, so if you open up a Mus'haf, you'll see that. So, Hamzatul Wasl, important thing to remember. If I see the word ism in Arabic, for example, I see the word ism. Okay? It starts with an alif. That's not a Hamza, that's actually a Hamzatul Wasl. This is why when I say a word like ismuka, what does ismuka mean?
Your name.
Your name. But how do I say, what's your name?
Shu ismuka.
Not shu. Shu is slang.
Uh,
Masmuka. Right? What do you notice I'm doing when I say masmuka? I'm skipping that Hamzatul Wasl. Right? I'm just saying mas. I'm going straight from the meme to the seen.
So is the meme written with the alif?
Right here? Yeah, it's still written with it. We don't delete letters that we don't pronounce.
So Sheikh, is this only wait? So is this only whenever you're using map?
No.
I know it has to do with like if the first word is an alif. So the first word is an alif, it becomes a
Wait, say that again. What do you mean?
So Hamzatul Wasl. Hamzatul Wasl. Why is asmuka Hamzatul Wasl?
That's just how this word is.
Oh.
Okay? So examples of Hamzatul Wasl, for example.
Yes.
Examples of Hamzatul Wasl. Every alif and lam that attaches to a word.
Oh, right. Okay.
Example, al-kalbu, right? Al-kalbu or al-kitabu. Al-kitabu. What does al-kitabu mean?
The book.
Now, if you look at the Quranic ayah, ذَلِكَ, we don't say what? We don't say ذَلِكَ al-kitabu. What do we say? We're skipping the Hamzatul Wasl. See what's happening? Okay, similarly in Ma Ismuka, if someone says Ma Ismuka, that's how you know they don't know Arabic at all. Because they don't know what a Hamzatul Wasl is. Alright? Someone says Ma Ismuka. I'm not talking in Arabic. Tell me what language you speak. Because Hamzatul Wasl is kind of an elementary type thing. Okay, and there's plenty of Hamzatul Wasls in Arabic. We'll see that so far we've learned about quite a few. We've learned about the word ism. We've learned about every single command in Arabic. Remember when we make a command, a fi'l amr, we insert a Hamzatul Wasl in the beginning.
So
Like uktub means what?
Right.
Right. Now if I put and in front of it, wa, how would I say it? Waktub. Okay? Yes.
yeah, I was just getting my question. So so my thing is, are we attaching a Hamzatul Wasl, or is it already there on specific words?
It's already there in the word ism. Like ism starts with a Hamzatul Wasl.
I see.
Why does it start with a Hamzatul Wasl?
But can you
I can tell you that, but you won't understand.
But can we add Hamzatul Wasl?
We
Is there
don't.
scenarios where we add it, or is it usually just there?
You know, we added in commands. We add in commands. That's what you've learned so far.
Okay.
We're gonna add it in more places too. We just haven't learned what those other places are. You have to first remember how to treat a Hamzatul Wasl, how to recite it, and then we'll talk about where all we would need to add it as well. So here in today's lesson, we just read about a Hamzatul Wasl, which was what? Where? In the word Allah, right? The word of Allah. In the word Allah begins with Hamzatul Wasl, which is why when we say, for example, Huwa Allah, we don't say Huwa Allah. Someone says Huwa Allah, we would say, what are you saying? That doesn't even sound right, right? Similarly, imagine if I said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed. The word revealed is anzala, and now we're going to say Allah after it. How would I say this together? Yeah, I wouldn't say what?
أنزل
Anzala Allah. That would be wrong.
It's who Allah. Who Allah, right?
Yeah.
Hu Allah, yeah. We don't say Huwa Allah. We say Hu Allah. These are all examples of Hamzatul Wasl. Another example of a word that by default has Hamzatul Wasl is the word Alladhi.
Ah.
You see the word Alladhi? What does Alladhi mean again? The one who. Right? So it by default starts with Alladhi. So imagine if I said, He is Allah, the one who created you. Try saying that in Arabic. Good. Hu Allah. See, I'm not saying Hu Allah. Hu Allah. And then am I going to say Hu Allahu Alladhi?
Who Allah?
Hu Allahu Alladhi khalaq. More examples of Hamzatul Wasl. And we'll see a lot more as we progress. You guys feel fairly comfy with the idea? Okay. So, going forward, we see here that he says, Rabbi Allah, my Lord is Allah. And the king then says, Manillah, who is Allah, O Ibrahim. Let's go ahead and read our next line. No, those are pronouns. What are they? Ya, ta, alif, and noon. There are 4. Look, simple way to remember those 4 is just to remember the acronym for them, which is Atayna.
Atayna?
Atayna. Yeah. Now, Atayna, if you go through your 14 conjugations, we have Yaf'alu. Remember this? We have Taf'alu. We have Af'alu. We have Naf'alu. These are 4 examples of all 4 prefixes in use. Ya, ta, alif, noon, or you can just say Atayna to remember all 4 prefixes. We see the word yuhyi. It's definitely a verb. Okay. What's interesting about this verb is it has a couple of qualities that remind us of form 4. Guys, form 4. What is form 4? Form 4 we recall, we took these notes last time on form 4, which was, if a verb is in form 4, there's the past and the present tense. The past tense has a couple of steps to make it into form 4. If you don't recall these steps, you just gotta write them down, you just gotta identify them, you just gotta practice them. So if you want to take a verb and put it into form 4 past tense, 3 steps. Take your root letters of choice. Here, which ones did I pick? Sin, Mim, and Ayn. Okay? Place a Hamza, not a Hamzatul Wasl, a real Hamza sitting on top of an Alif, and put it with the Fatha before the root letters. So how would I pronounce that Hamza? Ah. Give position 1 a Sukun. What's position 1? Sin. So I give it a Sukun. What do I get so far? As. Give position 2 and 3 Fathas. What do I get? Asma. That's a form 4 verb, but is it past or present tense? Past tense. Past tense verb with the prefix. So form 4 is a little bit odd because it has prefixes in the past tense. Normally when we did فعل فعل فعلوا فعلت فعلتا فعلنا فعلت فعلتما فعلتم فعلتي فعلتما فعلتن فعلتوا فعلنا, none of those past tense verbs had a prefix. The ending was changing, right? فعل فعلا فعلوا. It's the end that's changing. But in form 4, it's not the end that changes only. It's also the beginning. How did the beginning change? I added a Hamza. In the past tense. Good, yeah. Now, in the present tense of form 4, we take our prefix. What are the 4 prefixes of present tense? Ya, ta, alif, nun, right? Now, take your prefix and give it a dhamma. So let's take ya for example and give it a dhamma.
You.
Got you. Let's give position 1 a sukoon. What do we got? Yus. Let's give position 2 a kasra. What do we got? So what would our verb sound like? Yusmir. So the past would be asma. The present tense would be yusmir. Why would I ever want to put a verb in the form 4?
Make it transitive or extra
To
transitive.
make it transitive. What does that mean? What does that mean?
To give it a maf'ul bihi.
What does that mean? Explain like I'm 5.
So taking a verb and making it to where it's doing something to someone else. No, that's not.
So it says it right there, when the action transfers from the word to the object.
Okay, that's what a transitive is. Now, let's think of the word samia. What does samia mean?
Being heard.
He heard. Is that a transitive verb or an intransitive verb?
That's transitive.
Why is it transitive?
Because it can happen to someone or something.
Because it happens to something else, right? He heard.
Something.
He heard the sound, right? He heard the boom. What's the object here? The boom. Okay? Now we take that verb and we put it in form 4.
Yeah.
Samia is not form 4, is it?
No.
No. Put it in form 4, and now the meaning is not he heard the boom. Now the meaning is he made someone hear something. You see how there's an extra object in there? He made someone else hear something.
I say you force someone to hear something, or
Yeah, like I'm forcing you to hear me. I'm doing asma. I'm doing form 4 to you right now by talking.
Shit, question.
Talking is what asma means. Asma means to talk. Samia means to hear. But asma, what is asma? He made someone else hear. So in other words, he talked.
So it's like isma'ni, like listen to me.
Yeah, so you're actually a disadvantage in my class, Hadi. Not because your Arabic is bad. It's because your harakat are so wrong that form 4, you already use form 4, but you use it with the wrong harakat. Which means it actually should, we haven't even done the command form for form 4 yet.
Yeah.
So it's asmi'ni.
Okay, that's a
Then question. What's the Arabic word for form 4?
Bab al-if'al. I wrote it.
Okay.
Yeah. Bab al-if'al. Okay? Now, how do we identify something being in the form 4 in present tense? Dhamma on the prefix and on position 2, right? Dhamma on the prefix, kasra on position 2. In the word yuhyi, we see exactly that. Because Ibrahim alayhi salam was asked, Man Rabbuk, Manillah, who is Allah? He said, Alladhi yuhyi wa yumit. He is the one who, and then we see the word yuhyi. Yuhyi, wait, do we have that dhamma on the prefix?
Yes.
Do we have that kasra on position 2?
Yes.
What's position 2 here?
Yeah. The first, yeah.
The first, yeah. So what are the root letters of yuhyi? Ha, yeah.
That's the one who's never died, never living.
That's al-hayy. That's Allah's name, al-hayy. Now, if we look up the root letters in the dictionary, look at the root letters. The verb is ha-yi-ya. Ha-yi-ya. What does ha-yi-ya mean? To live. But in our book, it's not being used in regular form. In our book, it's being used in form 4. And what did I tell you form 4 means?
Make
Make something happen to somebody else.
Okay, so yuhyi means what?
Making somebody live. Making somebody live. Oh, so she like they would be creative, right? Like to keep somebody alive?
Yes, to keep someone alive
So
or
he's
to
the
grant
sustainer?
someone life.
Would it be like the sustainer?
Yeah, so you can just say, he is the one who grants life. And if you look up form 4 in the dictionary, look what the meaning it tells you is. You guys see form 4 in Roman numerals?
Yeah.
Ahya. What does it mean?
Lend life.
To enliven, to animate, to vitalize, to endow with life.
And well, you meet means to cause a message
Constant.
To cause death. Very good. How do you know it means that?
because what is it? Meet is from the word from meta.
Good. Mata means what?
Die.
And you meet, is that regular form?
No, that's fourth form.
How do you know?
Because you have the
Dhamma and the kasra.
Dhamma.
Very good. So you meet means to cause
Death.
death. But mata means what?
Yeah.
He died. Okay? Similarly, we did a couple other form 4 verbs yesterday. We did the verb ta'ima.
So you
What does ta'ima mean?
to feed.
No. Ta'ima means he ate.
Okay, cool.
Okay? From ta'am, right? Now, imagine if I took that and put it in form 4, what would it mean?
At'ama.
Al-ta'ama, and the present tense would be yut'ima, which means to feed, to make someone eat, right? To feed.
You're right, because our Arabic we use it all the time. But
You use the
I-
wrong harakat.
It's
Yeah. Trust me, Adi, I'm learning slang with you.
like my day. You were
As
talking
you
about
learn
that the other day,
Fusha,
yeah.
as you learn Fusha, I learned slang, and wallah, I'm losing my mind. I don't want to do this.
Because in my head, I was,
It's like taking someone like Shakespeare to the hood. Why would he want to go there?
yeah. Why would you? Why do we want to change? It's just. I feel like it's from laziness. Like they don't
Shortcuts.
Shortcuts.
No, not all slang is bad. There's actually a lot of good slang that's very Fusha-like, but it's just pronounced with a bit of, like, you know, a little bit of curve, kind of like how English is.
Yeah.
But not all slang is equal. Unfortunately, with the loss of Arabic education in many Muslim countries, slang has devolved. Slang used to be good when everyone went to Arabic medium school. Now, everyone goes to English medium schools. Nobody reads and writes in Arabic. Everyone studies in a different language. And the language is devolving. But it will last till the day of judgment for the purposes of understanding our deen. We know that to be true. It's just it might not be the Arabs learning it. It might be someone else.
It's a pile of long time.
It's
like-
true though.
Yeah, it's so true. It's like I feel like the Arabs don't know the real Arabic. It's
A lot of them do, but they're poor.
A lot of times you find the non-Arabs know the real Arabic better than the actual.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I mean, Imam Bukhari was an Arab,
Yeah.
right? None of these Imams were Arab except for Imam Shafi'i. So, from the 4 Imams, Imam Shafi'i was the Arab. Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal, actually, I believe he was too, but the majority of Imams in history are not Arab, but they all knew good Arabic. So, interesting. It was the lingua franca, it was the universal language of Muslims. Alright, so Alladhi yuhyi wa yumit, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who brings life, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who causes life, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who causes death, who grants death. Alright, our next line is, I don't even know which tab I'm on right now.
It's the one on the right.
Which one? Oh, is
Yeah,
it
the
right?
one that's open.
Oh, it's open, yeah.
Yeah.
قال الملك
قال الملك أنا أحيي
أنا أحيي وأميت. What is the king saying?
I give life and
I give life,
I give death.
I give death. Now this is in parentheses, meaning that this is
From the Quran.
from the Quran, right? This is in
أنا يحيي ويميت.
أنا أحيي وأميت.
I know what the meaning of the next line is. I don't know what the next line
قال إبراهيم
is. The Yeti.
قال إبراهيم فإن الله يأتي بالشمس من المشرق. Where is that?
I don't know.
Surah Al-Baqarah.
Oh, is it Baqarah?
Yeah. So, ودع. Okay, our next line is ودع. Da'a in the Arabic language is a verb that comes from what root letters? It's dal, ayn, and wow. And dal, ayn, and yeah, both. Okay? Da'a means what? To call or to summon. So, da'a al-maliku rajulan. What does that mean?
King called the man.
Called a man. He summoned a man. وَقَتَلَهُ.
He killed him.
He killed him. Okay? It's real. وَدَعَا. What else happens? And he
set free.
No, what does da'a rajulan mean? He summoned
A man.
a man. But we learn about akhar Akhar in the Arabic language.
Isn't it akhir means like the end, right?
No. So that's where people get confused. We have two words, okay? Don't let the two confuse you because they sound similar. The first of them is what you just said, which is akhir. Okay? Akhir means last.
Yeah.
Like آمنت بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسله واليوم الآخر. What does that mean?
And the last day.
The last day. I believe in the last day. Okay? Akhir. The feminine version of akhir is akhirah. In the akhirah. Okay? In the afterlife. Okay. That's last.
Yeah.
Here's another word. Another word is
Khar.
Well, you said yesterday that akhira means another.
yes. So I didn't say that about akhir. I said that about akhar. With the fatha on the kha. Akharu means another. Okay?
Oh, really?
Now, for example, you can say هذا هاتف وذلك هاتف آخر. This is a phone.
It's another
Different.
phone.
That's another phone, right? Okay. So, what's different about this and the previous word in terms of feminization is if you wanted to use the feminine version of akhar, it's not akhara, it's actually the word ukhra.
Oh, okay.
Ukhra. So, I can say دخلت بنت وبنت أخرى. What does that mean? دخلت بنت
The girl entered the
وبنت أخرى.
And the
the
other
other girl entered.
Not the.
Oh, the and a girl.
And another girl entered.
And another girl. And another girl entered. Yeah. Okay? So what's the feminine of akhar? Ukhra. What's the feminine of akhir?
Akhira.
Akhira. Okay.
Why is there like a for for a bit of feminine?
That's a sign of a feminine word. Is a mud followed by a silent yeah.
Like how come it's not like a kamaputa?
That's another way to feminize something.
Akhar is another.
That's another way to feminize something.
That's what got me.
Okay?
Like to my ears, initially, they sound like the same thing.
What? Akhar, akhir?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me explain why. Okay. The word akhar is the word akhar in Arabic is actually on the pattern of af. Yes. Af'alu. Okay? If you take the root letters Hamza, Kha, and Ra, and you fill them in these three positions, what would you get? Kharu. Once again, Kharu. That's what you would get. But the Arabs don't like a double Hamza, the first one having a haraka, the second one having a sukoon. So kharu is an impossible word in Arabic. So we take that sukoon Hamza and we transform it into an alif. What do you get? Akhar. Okay?
Wow.
Now, here's what's important. Anytime you have a noun on the pattern of af'alu, can someone tell me another noun on the pattern of af'alu?
Asma'.
What is asma'?
Past tense, right?
Huh?
No.
I said noun.
Noun. Oh, so
Akbaru.
oh,
Where's akbaru?
bigger,
News?
Akbaru.
biggest.
The biggest.
The biggest. That's not on the pattern of af'alu. Okay? So think of a word on the pattern of af'alu like akbaru. What does akbaru mean? The biggest, right?
That was like the most skilled.
Yes.
Remember that one?
Yes. Now, anytime you have a word on that pattern of af'alu that's a noun, any noun on the pattern of af'alu, its feminine counterpart is going to be on the pattern of the word for. La. For la. So what would the feminine version of akbaru be? Kubra. Okay, so akbaru, again, once more, just so that you guys can move on from this discussion, have some closure, forget about it, and then ask me again once you've forgotten. We have words on the pattern of af'alu that are nouns. What's an example of a word that's on the pattern of af'alu? No, the one we did before that. Akharu. Good. Which means?
The last. Or last.
No, that's akhir.
Sorry.
So what's
another?
Another, okay?
What's akharu?
Yes. Or like the word akbaru, which means?
The biggest.
The biggest. Or like, for example, if I said to you the word ajmalu.
The prettiest. Or the
Most beautiful.
Yeah, the prettiest, the most beautiful. Yeah, or if I had a word like, arhamu.
The most merciful.
Yes, Allah is arham, right? Allah is the most merciful. Anytime you have a word on the pattern of af'alu, and it's a noun, its feminine counterpart will be on the pattern of for'la. So the feminine version of akbaru is kubra, and the feminine version of the word ajmalu is jumla, and the feminine version of the word, the third one that we did, arhamu, would be ruhma, and the feminine version of akhar would be ukhra. So remember I told you what's the feminine of akhar? Ukhra. Okay, it's on the pattern of for'la. Following?
Yes.
Okay, alhamdulillah. So, he called another man.
What was the name of the Af'alu? Ismul Af'al? Is that what it's called?
Oh man.
Nope, I don't remember. Sorry.
We didn't give it a name. We just said nouns on the pattern of af'alu.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought in the first class we had we did that word.
We did aswadu, abyadu, azraqu. Those are all on the pattern of af'alu.
Okay.
Yeah. We said that their female is a little weird, like Sauda, Zarqa. Okay. So we'll talk about all these patterns inshallah once we get a better hang of even identifying the patterns.
Yeah.
So da'a rajulan akhara, he summoned a different man, another man. What tarakahu? Taraka was a word we looked up yesterday. No, that's not taraka. That's
To let go, right?
yeah, to let go.
Relinquish.
Are you talking about taraka? I don't know. Trash?
I guess they're right, at least to get rid of.
That's taraka?
To knock, to wrap, to hammer.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
It is?
Maybe tarafa, yeah.
Okay. Taraka means to leave something.
Yeah.
Taraka means to let be.
Yeah.
So for example, I can say taraktul ma'siyata. I left behind sins. Taraktul ma'siyah. I can say taraktul madrasa. I left school. Taraktul tadkhin, right? I left behind smoking. I quit smoking. I let it go. I mean, so the idea here is that this king, he called another man watarakahu. So what did he do? He let him go. He didn't kill him. So what is he trying to prove?
He's trying to prove that he can give life to people.
Yes, exactly. Very simple. Silly. Simplistic man.
Yeah.
So, وقال Let's go ahead and read that.
وقال أنا أحيي وأميت وتزوج رجلا وتركت رجلا.
What does he say?
And he said,
I live life and death.
And I get that.
I killed a man and
I killed a
let a
man.
man go.
وَتَرَكْتُ رَجُلًا.
And I let him go.
I let another man go. Good, I let a man go. I killed a man, I let a man go. I bring life, I give death. There you go. All right, let's read the next line.
وكان
الملك بديدا
بليدا
جدا وكان مشركين.
Not kallu. Kullu means
every right.
good. كذلك كل مشرك. Okay. كان الملك. Oh, I see كان. What does that
You
mean?
gotta find it.
It's
What's that?
الملك.
Good. So the king
The king
was. Balid is a new word. Balid comes from what root letters? Ba, lam, dal. Let's look at the verb before we figure out balid. Is balid a noun or a verb?
should be an ism.
How do you know it's a noun?
Because there's a noun for that. I don't know why.
Balidan. What does it end in?
It's a verb.
Oh,
It ends in tanween, and tanween is
Nouns.
Always.
nouns. Good.
Alif, lam,
MashaAllah.
tanween are all-
Alif, lam, and tanween are for nouns. Good.
Yeah, okay.
So, but before we look up the noun, let's look up the verb that makes up the word balid. Look, remember, almost all nouns come from a verb
Yeah.
originally. Okay, like talib meant student,
Yeah.
but it came from a verb. What was the verb? Which meant what?
Or
Just like in
that case to me, but also like to
inform?
no,
to
I
search,
know this, I
to
know
search.
this.
No,
To seek, right? To search, to look for. Similarly, balid comes from a verb, which is baluda, yabludu, which means
I just saw something below. It's called below, but it's all wrong.
what?
What did you see above, brother?
It's called below wrong.
Be Belgium?
MashaAllah, ablaj. Talking about this?
Yeah.
That just means happy.
Oh,
really?
that's how.
Oh,
I was thinking the rest of them don't add.
Yeah.
are not equal to that.
It just means to shine,
Yeah,
man, to be.
happy. Yeah.
You know.
Not that.
All right.
All right.
Now, balid. Baluda means to be stupid. So balid must be
A dumb person.
a dumb person. Look, balid means stupid, doltish, dull-witted, idiotic.
Obtuse. Sorry.
Wait, Balid and Bela, they're completely different, right?
No, they're from the same
They're from
verb.
the root, right?
Yeah.
Is a Latin.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Bela is on it. Okay.
People in cities can be dumb. Yeah? People in cities can be very foolish. People in city have a bad reputation.
No, it makes sense.
The people of Mecca would send their kids out of the city. Because the city was filled with people cursing. The city was filled with people cheating. The city was filled with people who don't understand life. They only understand the rat race.
So
I go to New York, you'll think everybody's
First
stupid.
of all,
So the chef is
Is
the word that is made from like the root, does it always have something to do with that root word?
Almost always.
Yeah.
It's a good question. When you study a little bit more advanced Arabic, I can give you a more comprehensive answer. But there's kind of like a philosophical difference. Some people seem to think that every derived noun has something to do with the verb it came from. But there are a few that actually have nothing to do with it. There are a few examples. Good question. So the king was what? Very stupid. وَكَذَلِكَ كُلُّ مُشْرِكٍ.
and as the like every
Like that?
Likewise,
like what?
similarly,
Similarly.
every
So is every
mushrik, mushrik,
one who shares, one who associates.
mushrik.
Non-believer.
No, that's a
I
kafir.
meant no.
A shirker.
Exactly. Yeah.
A what?
poly-
A polytheist. Good. So similar is every polytheist. How can you actually have obedience to two gods? It's very dumb.
The one who polishes.
So, Arada. Arada is a word we did a long time ago. Arada meant what? Wanted. Here's an interesting thing that you didn't know about arada the first time you learned about it. It's actually form 4.
Oh, you're right.
With the ah?
Ah, you see
And
the
no kasra?
No, it's past tense.
Oh, no, sorry.
So that
It's not ada.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's not out of like.
it's not arwada. The original is arwada, but the wow gave its fatha up to the ra before it, so we get arada. Now, what would the present tense of arada be? Yuridu, very good. And don't you see the same thing happening there?
Yeah.
Yuridu, dhamma kasra, form 4.
And so the regular would be.
Now,
Yeah,
don't worry about
Okay.
form 1.
Okay.
The regular form is not really used.
I was thinking I've never heard the
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
I've only known one word of that word.
Remember Adi's question?
Yeah.
Does every word that comes from a different word have something to do with it? In the case of arada, it has nothing to do with its root letters in meaning. Okay? Arada means wanted. Arada Ibrahimu means
Wanted.
and. What does an mean?
That usually means
Oh, I have it. What's no, it's not that.
it means two.
It means two.
Yeah.
But what type of word is an?
It's a huruf al-nasr.
Good. Al-Huruf al-Nasr. I saw you look over there, Shamrez. Right there, bro.
Yeah, it's over there.
Hey, I see you, bro. What does that mean? What are the Huruf al-Nasibas? Where do they appear?
Before an before a present tense verb.
Very good. Always before present tense verb. And what do they do to the present tense verb? They give it,
A fatha at the end. Mansub.
yes, they give it a fatha at the end, unless it's dual or plural, in which case
You drop the note.
they drop the note. Unless it's plural feminine, in which case they do nothing.
Okay, yeah.
Okay? Is this before present tense verb? An?
Yes.
Yes. Now, what's it doing to the word yafham?
Yes.
It's making it fatha at the end. Normally, this word is yafha. Yafham. So, arada Ibrahimu an yafham mal maliku. What does that mean?
Yafham means to understand.
What is
Yeah.
yafham? Oh,
Yafham comes from the Arabic root letters fahima, which means to understand.
So Ibrahim wanted to
understand.
No.
Understand the king. Right?
You want
He wanted to understand.
Maddie, you were here yesterday. You can't answer this.
Wait, just man
Yeah, two.
wanted to understand.
So you want to make the king understand, right?
He wanted to
Understand the king.
understand the king. So, what's the object of understanding?
The object should understand the king.
But, it's not,
But is it in the
it's not
nasab
plural.
state?
No, it's
No.
not plural.
So he's not the object, he's the,
He wanted the king to understand.
very good. He wanted the king to understand. So this haraka has changed the meaning from he wanted to understand the king to he wanted
King to understand.
the king to understand.
Wow.
You see this? Big jump, big change.
So that's even why, like in the Quran, you change one out of it.
Boom. Boom. Okay? I'm thinking of an actual ayah where you can make a dramatic change.
There was one in, I think it's sort of, whenever I was learning, I think it was sort of Quran.
What?
It was, it's like, فوق صوت النبي.
لا ترفعوا أصواتكم فوق صوت النبي. What about it?
I think there, because I remember Dr. Ghazali, who was our teacher at the time, he was teaching us, and I remember we had messed up like haraka, and he said that it completely changed the surah.
Okay, could be. I can't think of what possibility he thought of or that he might have said, but if it comes to my mind, I'll tell you. Here, if we said Arada Ibrahimu an yafham al-malika, what would that mean?
Malika. Then he wanted to understand the king.
King, but we're saying yafham al-maliku.
So the king is the one who's trying to understand. Yeah.
Okay, so let me give you an alternative Arabic phrase. I can say Arada Abu okay, let's say Arada Abu أبو زيد أراد أبو زيد أكسام أراد أبو زيد
Abu Zaydin. Okay.
أن this is gonna be a good one.
Yeah. Yeah.
What would this mean?
Ibnahu?
His son.
أراد أبو زيد
Zayd's son
The father of Zayd
Father of Zayd
wanted to
eat his son.
to eat his son.
Yeah.
Why to eat his son?
Because Ibna is mansub, and so we need this the maf'ul bihi of
أكل.
akala.
Okay, very good. So if I say أراد أبو زيد أن يأكل ابنه, that means the father of Zayd wanted to eat
His son.
his son. How do you know his son is being eaten here? Of what? يأكل has a fatha.
the attached pronoun.
The attached pronoun doesn't tell you that. Which haraka exactly?
There's a nasab, like it's a nasab.
It's in the nasab state. Where? How do you know it's in the nasab state?
What letter
You got
has
it. You
the-
got it. What letter? The na.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
So this noon with the fatha is telling me that the object of eating is what? It's the son. His son is being eaten
Because it's a
because it's in the nasab state. So what if I change it to this? أراد أبو زيد أن يأكل ابنه.
They want to eat his son.
Could be opposite.
To feed.
No.
For a son to eat.
Yes. He wanted.
His, or
Oh, I
He
see.
wanted.
father of Zayd
Wanted.
to
He want. We're not going to translate that as two.
wanted his son to eat.
He wanted his son to eat because now Ibn is no longer the object. Ibn is the
Is the
fa'il, the doer, and the doer is always in what state? The rafa'at state. You see the difference? Yes.
Could we make a similar meaning sentence using form 4
Yeah, and
Yeah.
yut'ima,
and yudari?
So what would
Okay.
the object be now?
Yudari.
there is no object. He just wanted his son to eat. We're not telling you what he wanted him to eat. He just wanted him to eat. Okay? So, like, if you said this in slang, ibni, ibni, abli an yakul ibni, right? That might, yeah. Actually, in slang, you won't even have this issue because they wouldn't even say an.
Yeah.
They wouldn't even use the present tense verb. But in general, if somebody didn't know grammar, they might say this very wrong.
أنا بدي أكل معي.
Yeah. All right. You guys understand how this means he wanted for his son to eat instead of meaning he wanted to eat his son.
Yeah.
Okay? You understand? It's the same thing happening in our sentence here. وَيَفْهَمَ قَوْمَهُ قَوْمُهُ. How do we translate this?
That means to understand.
And
He understand his people.
for his the people to
Qawmahu or
understand.
his like his
His nation.
nation.
So what does this mean? Ibrahim wanted?
To understand the king and his people.
No.
No, he wanted his people to understand.
He wanted the people to understand and he wanted the king to understand. You see why it doesn't mean he wanted to understand his people? Because in your English, he wanted to understand his people. What's the object?
People.
And is the object in Arabic? No, this is not the object in Arabic. This is the what?
This is
It's the doer.
It's the doer, yeah.
It's the fact. It's not the. What's the Arabic terminology for object? What? You wrote it down, Marif. Look at your notes, man. Look at your notes.
The maf'ul.
Yes, not the
Which
maf'ul.
maf'ul?
There's two
Oh,
maf'uls.
the maf'ul. It's not the maf'ul fihi. No.
It's bi.
Maf'ul
It's
bihi.
bihi. Good. Man, y'all gotta look at your notes. Okay. قال إبراهيم فقال إبراهيم للملك. So Ibrahim what?
Ibrahim said,
So Ibrahim said to the king,
فإن الله يأتي بالشمس من المشرق فأتي بها من المغرب. Ibrahim alayhi salam said للملك. Who did he say to?
To the king.
فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ. So indeed Allah, ya'ti. Ya'ti is a word that we haven't actually looked up very much. What are the root letters of ya'ti? No, ya is a prefix, Arif. Remember, we talked about that.
Oh, isn't it ta, ya?
No, it's not ya. Ya'ti. Ya.
Hamza.
Hamza.
Ya. Ya. The ta.
Da.
Ya.
Yes. Okay. Hamza ta ya. Our past tense is what? Ata. The present tense is ya'ti. Ata ya'ti. What does it mean? To come. Here's what's interesting though. Guys. When you use ata with the harf jar bi, you see this b right here? You see ata bi? Verbs can change meanings if there's a specific harf jar after them.
After them.
Yeah. So ata on its own means what? To come. Ata bi. You see this bi?
Yes.
It doesn't mean to come. It means what?
To bring.
To bring.
So what if you put another object?
It would it wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't say ata ala.
Yeah.
You could actually.
No.
Because actually ata ala means to mention.
Ah.
Wow.
Okay? You see that? Means to mention something. But not every harf jar will make sense. Okay? So don't worry about the complex stuff right now.
Yeah.
Learn the verb.
Yeah.
Ata is the past tense. What's the present tense?
Ya'ti.
Ya'ti. Okay, good. Means
To bring forward.
on its own. Ata
come.
ya'ti
To
means
come.
to come.
Oh,
But when
to
it's
come.
used with
Be.
be, it means
To bring.
to bring. So فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ يَأْتِي بِالشَّمْسِ means indeed Allah
Brings the sun.
brings the sun min al-mashriqi
From the
from the east.
To,
Just from the east. Allah brings it from the east. Fa'ti, that's a command.
Yeah. So
Be.
We have.
Be. What does be mean? Fa'ti be.
Wait.
No, that's not what it means. We just learned. Be means what?
Oh.
to bring.
When you use this verb with be, it means to bring. So fa'ti biha means so
Bring it.
bring it min al-maghrib.
From
From
the
the
west.
west.
Yeah, bring it from the west. We'll see if you're Allah. Right? He says Allah brings it from the east, you bring it from the west. فَتَحَيَّرَ الْمَلِكُ وَسَكَتَ. I'll translate the rest for you guys. The king, تَحَيَّرَ, he was bewildered. He became hayran.
Hayran. Yeah.
Okay, he became bewildered. He became speechless. وَسَكَتَ, and he was quiet. وَخَجِلَ الْمَلِكُ, and the king became embarrassed. وَمَا وَجَدَ جَوَابًا, and he did not find
Anything to say.
an answer, right? He didn't find a response. He had no response to what Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam said. Jawab is a response. Yeah, an answer. Right?
So anything with tanween is a noun?
Of course, always, yeah. That's right. I'll say anything for now. Yeah.
Daiman?
Da'iman, yes. Even da'iman, right? Think about it. Da'iman ends in tanween. That means that's a noun. And it's actually in the nasab state because it's a maf'ul fihi.
That's what I was thinking. It's maf'ul.
Because it means what?
Da'iman.
What does da'iman mean?
Always, right?
Always, right? So it's actually telling you the time.
When something's happening.
Oh, it's what will it be here?
No, not bihi. Fihi.